Hi everyone, I'm Ashley McAllister and I'm here at Lotus Tree. And today I'm going to run you through a Pilates class. Um, so if we just want to start on our backs, I'm just going to go through one of the fundamentals first. So I just want you to lay on your back and just have your feet on the mat. And I just want you to notice that little space in the bottom of your back, the bottom of your spine. So that is what I'll refer to just as a neutral spine. So for our first exercise, we're going to want to get rid of that neutral spine and move it into an imprint. And we do that just to protect our lower back. And it also helps to disengage more of our core muscles and making sure we're not getting into that lower back. So to get rid of that space, instead of just jamming our back to the mat, we're just going to tilt our pelvis up. So we're going to go hip bones to ribs. And when you push that pelvis back, hip bones to ribs, you should feel that small of your back disappear, and you should have a flat back into the mat. And that's what we call an imprinted spine. So just roll through that a couple times. So you can place your middle fingers on your hip bones, thumbs on your ribs. And so you just want to make that waist smaller. So just tilting that pelvis, hip bones to ribs, make that waist smaller, cinch it in. That should engage your core right away. So from there, with a nice engaged core, mat fully on the back, imprinted spine, we're going to lift both legs up into tabletop. So here that will be knees over hips, and then feet just a little bit higher than knees. So we're going to start with the hundreds. So the hundreds is typically 100 breaths, but we'll see where we get. So from here, we'll just lift our arms up to hip height. We'll take a nice big inhale. Exhale, we're going to roll up our head, neck, and shoulders, trying to get those shoulder blades up off the mat. Here we're going to inhale for 5 breaths, exhaling for 5 breaths. So inhaling through our nose, exhaling through our mouth. So inhale for 5, exhale for 5. So inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to start pumping our arms. And that's just going to cause a vibration in our abdominals. And it's just really great to get the body warmed up, get our whole abs, obliques warmed up. So inhaling for 5, exhaling for 5. And if that feels good there, let's throw our legs out. So pointed toes. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And your eye gaze can just be at your thighs. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, let's do a few more. See if you can get a little higher. Get those shoulder blades off your mat. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. So let's just bring our knees to our chest. And just roll back and forth. Good. Okay, so we're going to move on to double leg stretch. So here we're going to have, again, that nice imprinted spine. You want your whole back to stay on the mat for this entire exercise. So we can bring our legs up to that tabletop position, and we're just going to bring our knees in towards our chest. Arms can come up beside you, hip height. So we're going to Inhale, exhale, roll up into a crunch, so head, neck, and shoulders off. So here, we're going to inhale up at the top. Exhale, arms and legs go out, biceps by ears. Hold that for 2, 1, 2. We're going to circle our arms around, hugging knees into chest, getting a little higher. So inhale here. Exhale, arms and legs go out, point through those toes, circle arms around, knees to chest. So if at any time your neck's getting sore, just lay your head back down on your mat and just reach arms, legs out. Inhale, circle arms back around. So here, just want to make sure you can see your arms in your peripherals the whole entire time. So I'm going to come back up into that active crunch. Inhale, exhale, arms, legs out, circle around, pull knees to chest, get that chest up a little higher. Inhale, exhale, circle legs around. Inhale, exhale, circle legs around. Let's go 2 more. Circle, 1 more. And circle legs around. Get a little higher. Pull those knees into your chest. And lay back down. Knees to chest, just rock back and forth. Good. So we're going to do the single leg version of that one. So we'll go, right leg can come up into that tabletop. Just bring your knee into chest. Left leg is going to go so straight out. So we'll just inhale, exhale, we'll roll up off the mat, getting those shoulder blades lifted. Left leg straight, pull that knee in. Both hands to chest. Inhale, exhale, switch. And just keep switching legs, pulling that knee into your chest, getting a little bit higher as you pull in. Good. Eye gaze on thighs. Relax those shoulders. If you're feeling any tension in your neck, just drop back your head down. Keep going. Good. Let's just go 2 more on each side. 1, 2, and 1, and 2. Good. Just knees to chest. Shake out that lower back. Good. So for the next ones, we're going to go straight legs to the ceiling. So here we're going to, first, to make sure that that whole lower back, again, is on the mat. And we're going to be dropping our legs here. So only drop your legs until your lower back is not lifting. If that's not a far movement, that's totally fine. And to get a little bit deeper into those lower abdominals, you can bring your legs to tabletop. And we're going to lower and lift. So legs straight up to the ceiling or tabletop, and take a nice big inhale. Exhale, we're going to drop those feet with a flat flexed foot, only until your lower back stays connected. We're going to point through the toes, come back up. So flat feet lower, point and lift. Flat feet lower and point. So if you're in that tabletop position, we'll still go flat feet lower, point, lift. Flat feet lower and point. So we're just going to add a little hip lift in. So point through the toes, flat foot lower, point through the toes. When you get to the top, add a little hip lift and back down. So if you're in that tabletop, same thing. Add a little hip lift, push through those palms, push through the triceps. So let's roll through this 3 more times. Flat foot lower, point, hip lift. 2 more. Last one. Whew. Good. We'll just bring these to chest. Here we're just going to do a hip lift. So we'll just go flat feet. And here we want to feel like we're stamping the roof or the ceiling with the base of our feet. So flat flexed foot, either in tabletop or straight up. And we're just going to hip lift, stamp your feet. Stamp. So just nice and slow and controlled. Push through the palms, push through the triceps. 4 more. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Let's bring these to chest. Shake back and forth. So we're going to do a version of that again, but we're just going to go single leg. So we're going to go flat flexed foot. Left leg is going to stay up. Right leg is going to drop almost to the mat. You're going to lift back up and switch legs. So we're just going to switch and drop. If that's tight in your hip flexors or tight in your hamstrings, really tighten my hamstrings today. So I'm going to go to tabletop. I'm just going to go straight right leg, drop almost to the mat, pull back up into tabletop, and switch. So just nice and controlled. Feel like you're using those lower abdominals to draw that leg back in. So we're going to go 2 more on each side. 1, 2, and 1, and 2. Good. So we're just going to go into a traditional bicycle crunch. We're going to start to get into our obliques in the next few exercises. So that's just the side abdominals, the side abs. So here we can go up into that tabletop, knees over hips, feet just a little bit higher than knees. We're going to go pointed toes. So we always want active feet. So we can go either hands behind head or hands out to your side. I'm going to go hands behind head. Just going to take a nice big inhale. Exhale, I'm going to roll off head, neck, and shoulders. And I'm just going to alternate elbow to knee. Back to center, opposite elbow to knee. I'm just going to stay lifted here. So here we just want to be open through the chest, keeping that chin off the chest. Really crunch into that side, really get into the side obliques. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. Let's go 4 more. Get a little higher so you can get those shoulder blades lifted. Last 2. 1 and 2. Just Bring your knees into chest. So now we're going to roll up. We're going to go into a side plank, a side forearm plank. So I'm going to start on my right side. And to get properly aligned here, we're going to try to match our elbow with the middle of our mat. And we can either go knees or feet. So I'll go knees first. So I just want to try to get my knee lined up with my elbow. So I just want a nice straight line. Okay, and so from here, I just want stacked hips. Abs are going to be engaged. Take a nice big inhale. Exhale, I'm going to push up onto that forearm. And here you should feel your side obliques engaged. We're just going to drop a hip and lift. Drop and lift. If you want to come up onto your feet, our feet will just be in line with our elbow. Top leg is going to be in front. And then here, just push up onto that forearm. Stacked hips, abs engaged, belly button to spine, glutes tight, and just drop that hip and lift. Drop and lift. Just going to go 4 more. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we're going to stay on that right side. I'm going to switch to the other side of my mat. We're going to go into it's kind of like a modified Russian twist. So we're going to go into a high plank. So wrists under shoulders, core engaged, belly button to spine, glutes squeezed tight. And so here we're just going to roll onto the left side of our foot. We're going to roll onto the right side of our foot to get into the right abdominals. So this will be on the edges of our feet. And then here we're just going to drop a hip and lift. So we'll drop and lift. If that's too much, go onto your knees. Stack your knees, stack your hips, drop and lift. Good. 5 left. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Good. So we're still going to be working that right side. We're going to go back up into that high plank. We're going to bring left knee to right elbow. Nope, we're going to bring right knee to left elbow. So high plank, belly button to spine, glutes on, right knee to left elbow. Sorry, still working those side right obliques. Twist. Last 3. 1, 2, and 3. Oh. Okay, just grab water whenever you need. Grab a sip. All right, so now we're going to work the left side. So we're going to go into a side plank on the left. So everything in a straight line. If you're on your knees or if you're on your feet, just think about stacked hips, core on tight, glutes engaged. So I'm going to go up onto my feet. Top leg's going to be in front, bottom leg just behind. Nice big inhale. Exhale, push up onto that forearm. Stacked hips. I'm just going to drop a hip and down. Last 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we're going to come up into that modified Russian twist, high plank. This time I'm going to rotate to the left side of my feet. I'm just going to spin on those toes. So heel to big toe. I'm just going to drop the left side hips and lift. Last 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we just have the knee to elbow left for our obliques. High plank, belly button to spine. If you need to take knees, just still draw that knee into elbow. Or if you can, go up on your toes, knee to elbow. Really try to squeeze. Last 3. 1, 2, and 3. Good. Whew. Okay. So we're just going to do some regular push-ups. I'm going to stay on my knees. If you want to go on your toes, go on your toes. So here we just want wide fingertips, a little bit wider than shoulders. And here we're going to lead with our chest, and we're going to use our breath to kind of assist us. So core is engaged, belly button to spine, glutes are on, nice flat back the whole entire time. So we're going to lead with our chest, inhaling, exhaling up. Inhaling down, lead with your chest, exhale up. Inhale down, exhale up. Nice flat back. Don't let it sag or flare. Inhale down, exhale up. Let's go 3 more. Inhale down, exhale up. Last one. Hold it there. We're going to go down 1 more time, and let's just hold it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale up. Good. Oh, good. Stretch it out if you need. Okay, we're going to go back onto our backs to do some bridges. We're going to start with double leg. So here, you can just bring your feet up onto the mat. So just want you to think about that neutral spine again. So lying here, you should just have that neutral spine with a nice little space in the lower back. Feet are going to be about sit bone distance apart and pretty close into your butt. So we're going to be pushing through those heels. So hands nice and wide, planted into the mat, palms and triceps. So let's take a nice big inhale. Exhale, we're going to imprint the spine. So we're going to go pelvis to ribs, shortening that waist, rolling up, pushing through our heels, lifting our hips. We're going to hold at the top for 2 seconds. 1, 2, squeezing the glutes. We're going to roll down through the spine, just articulating nice and slow, rolling into that imprint first, then releasing that pelvis back to neutral spine. So we're just going to roll through this a few times. So inhaling, exhale, imprint the spine, roll up nice and slow, hold at the top for 1, 2, roll back down, rolling through that imprinted spine, back to neutral. Good. Inhale, exhale, roll up. Hold at the top. 1, 2, squeeze those glutes as hard as you can. Roll back down. We'll just go one more like this. Inhale, exhale, imprint the spine, roll up nice and slow. Hold for 2, pushing through the palms, pushing through the triceps. Roll back down, 1 vertebrae at a time. Through that imprint, back into neutral. Good. So this time, we're just going to hold at the top and do some pulses. So inhale, exhale, roll nice and slow. We're going to hold at the top. See if you can get your hips a little bit higher. We want to tip those hip bones, so back. So thinking about just kind of shining your hip bones to the back of the wall. So we want to get a little tip in them. Feel like you're stretching through the thighs, knees forward. We're just going to hold it here. Squeeze those glutes as hard as you can. 5 more seconds. And then we're just going to drop those hips 1/2 inch straight back up. We're just going to do pulses. So down 1/2 inch and up. We just want to make sure that those glutes stay on the whole time. Don't let them relax. Nice steady hips. Chin off chest. Heavy on the heels, light on those toes. Go 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. On that 5th one, just drop your tail, so hips straight down. Tap, lift back up. Squeeze as hard as you can. Tap, lift and squeeze. Lift and squeeze. We're going to go 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we're going to move on to single leg. So bring both of your feet together. Right leg is going to come up into that tabletop. Before we lift our hips, we just want to make sure that we're going to imprint our spine first. Otherwise, if you just lift straight up, you're going to get into that lower back. You're not going to be that stable. So imprint the spine first. Push through the heel, nice and slow, nice and stable. And here, we're just going to pulse up on that left cheek, pulse up and down, up an inch, down an inch, making sure that those hips are level. Bring your leg a little lower if you need. Push through the palms, push through the triceps. Last 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lower back down nice and slow. So we're going to do that same left side again. So feet together, imprint spine, lift that leg up into tabletop. This time we're going to drop that right leg down towards the mat, lift back up just to thigh height. So thighs in line, drop that leg, lift to thigh height, push through the palms, get your hips a little higher. Just lower and lift, pointed toes. Last 5, 3, 4, and 5. I'm going to switch on to the right side. Oh, feet together. Roll that spine into imprint to lift that left leg. Push through that right heel. Drop an inch, up an inch. Just pulse. Stable hips. If that's too much, or if you're dropping into one side of your hips, just bring both feet back down on the mat. Last 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Feet together. Left leg's going to come into tabletop. Imprint that spine. Lift up through the right heel. Pointed toes. Lower. Lift to thigh height. And lower. And lift to thigh height. See if you can get your hips a little higher. Heavy in that right heel. Good. Last 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Just bring knees into chest. Roll back and forth. Give that lower back a little massage. Okay. So now we're going to come up to standing. We're going to do a curtsy lunge. So let's start moving our right leg first. So you can kind of come to the right side of your mat. So we're going to be stepping that right leg back and behind us. So we're going to step that right leg back and behind. We want to try to have all 10 toes facing forward. But if you're toed in a little bit, if that gets you deeper into the side glute, side thigh, that's okay. And we want to try to squeeze those thighs together. We're just going to start with pulses to really get this side nice and warm. So hips square, hips back. Just lower an inch, lift an inch. Lower an inch and lift. So you can bring your hands to prayer. Put your hands on your hips. Nice proud chest. Last 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we're going to bring our knee up to chest, lower back into that curtsy. So here we want to see how low you can get Really want to try to get into that left side thigh, left glute. Push through that side of the foot, knee to chest. Thighs squeeze tight. When we lower down, we still want to make sure we can see our big toe. We don't want any strain on the knees. Last 3. 1, 2. On that third one, we're going to hold it back again. Here we're going to drop for 3 seconds. 2, 3, and lift for 1, 2, 3. Try not to lock that front knee. We really want to try to have this side time under tension, so we don't want to give it a break. Lower for 3, lift for 3. Let's just go 3 more. Hip square. Good. Last one. 1, 2, 3. Lift. 1, 2, 3. Shake it off if you need to. We're going to end with the pulses, and then we're going to switch legs. Just going to pulse up and down. Squeeze those thighs, hips back. Last 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Whew. Try to shake it out. Then we're going to move on to the other side. Whew. Oh, standing nice and tall. Left leg behind. Try for all 10 toes. Toe in if you need. Squeeze the thighs. Start with pulses. Weight on that front right side of your toes. And really take notice of how different each side feels. So for me, I can't get my 10 toes facing on this side. It's just each side of our body is so different, and it's really interesting to just take note of that. Go hips back, square. Let's go 3 more. 1, 2, and 3. Good. So now let's step back, get really deep into that side lunge, working that side thigh, right glute, push up, knee to chest, down, and up. Checking, making sure you can still see that big toe. Last 3. So you can get a little lower. 1, 2, third one, hold it out. We're going to lower for 3, lift for 3. Checking those hips, making sure they're squared. Nice and slow. Don't give the leg a break if you can. Good. Well, let's go 3 more. Nice and slow. 2 more. Last one. Shake it out. Always have pulses left. Just gonna go up an inch, down an inch, squeeze those thighs together, hips back. Last 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so we're gonna move on to side lying. So I'm gonna lay on my right side first. So here we just want our back to line up with the back of the mat, butt to the back of the mat. We're gonna lay down on our arm. Knees are gonna come to 90, hips stacked. Move my hips back a bit. Make sure it's all in line. You can have a little curve in that lower back. And then here, we're gonna go flat, flexed foot. We're just gonna lift it to hip height and lower, but not giving it a break. So try not to rest it at the bottom, just to hip height and lower. So core nice and engaged, belly button to spine. So just 3 more like this. 1, 2. On that third one, we're gonna lift a little higher than hip height, and we're gonna lower. Don't rest. Lift a little higher than hip height and lower. So here, you just want to think about trying to give that glute a squeeze when you're at the top. Give it a little poke. Make sure it's on. Wake it up. Squeeze. So squeeze that side glute. Give it a poke. Hips stay stacked. Foot stays flexed. Let's go 3 more. 1, 2. On that third one, hold it up. Leg's gonna go straight out, kind of kicking through that heel. Squeeze that glute. Bring it back in. Out. Squeeze that glute. Poke it. Make sure it's on. Bring it in. Out and in. Again, trying not to lock that knee when it's going out straight. We don't want to give any breaks if we can. Out and in. Squeeze that glute. Last 2. 1, 2. Good. Take a break if you need. Just give that glute a little smack, get the blood flowing back in. So this time we're gonna go toes to the ground, heel to the ceiling. We're gonna bring our toes just to the middle of our shins. We're just gonna tap the ground, lift, tap, and lift. So really just feeling it in the glutes, in that side thigh. Hips are still stacked. About 5 more. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Bring it in. Good. And we're going to go on to circles. And we're just going to do a 90-degree knee. And also, if that's getting hard on your neck, you can just lay flat. I kind of like to see what's
going on, what I'm doing. So we're going to go flat flex foot. Knees are going to stay at 90. And then we're just going to circle that knee and opening up through that hip. So we're going to reverse the circle too. So just take note of which way you're starting with. Open up through the hip. Just nice and slow. We'll go 3 more. 1, 2, 3. Try not to give it a break. And we're going to reverse the circle. Good. Last 3. 1, 2, and 3. Good. Give it a little pound out. We're just going to switch sides. So back in line with your mat, butt to the back, hips stacked, knees at 90. So core is engaged. Flat flexed foot. Just going to lift up to hip height and lower. Lift and lower. So just 2 more like this. 1, 2, second one, bring it a little higher than hip height and lower back down. Just trying to squeeze that glute at the top, give it a little poke, make sure it's on. So just really want to think about that mind-body connection. Making sure that the movement's not just coming from the hip. We'll go 3 more so you can get that knee a little bit higher. 1, 2, 3. Legs can go straight out, kicking through that heel and back in. Out, squeeze that glute, hold it there for a second, back in. Just nice and slow. Last 3. Kick through that heel. 1, 2, 3. Give it a little pound out. You're going to go flat flexed foot again, but toes to the ground, heel to the ceiling. Bring those toes to the middle of your shin, tap the ground, lift. Tap, lift through the heel. Thinking about that glute, that side thigh. Hips are still stacked. Last 3. 1, 2, and 3. Oh, give it a little pound. Just have circles left. Stacked hips, flexed flat foot. So circling that knee, opening up through the hip, down and around. Open up through that hip. Squeezing at the top. Last 3. 1, 2, 3. Hold it up and reverse that circle. Almost done. Last 2. 1 and 2. Whew. Okay. So basically almost done. We have one quick exercise left. So we're just gonna lay on our stomachs. Just gonna do a little bit of lower back, a little bit of shoulders, upper back. So here, just gonna really push that pelvis into the mat. We're gonna have pointed toes. Glutes are on. Head can be resting, arms just by your shoulders. Here we're going to take a nice big inhale. Exhale, we're going to squeeze those glutes, push that pelvis into the mat, lift the hands, roll the shoulder blades back down your back, and squeeze. Hold for 2, and release. Inhale, exhale, lift and squeeze. Hold for 2, and release. We'll just go 3 more. Inhale, exhale, lift and squeeze. Roll those shoulder blades down. Release. Inhale, exhale, lift. Squeeze those shoulder blades. Last one. Inhale, exhale, lift. This time, hold it there. Arms go forward, back in, and down. Inhale, exhale, lift. Arms go forward. Nice straight neck, no wrinkles. Arms in, release. We'll just go 2 more. Inhale, exhale, lift. Lift arms, reach through the fingertips, reach through the toes, back in, down. Last one. Inhale, exhale, lift. Reach those fingers. This time, we're just going to go swimming. So opposite arm and legs. Flutter. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it in. And relax. Just push up. Just push into pigeon quickly. And go toes together, knees open. Stretch those arms forward. Relax your forehead. Sit into the hips. Just enjoy the stretch. Just a couple deep breaths here. Okay. So, we're all finished. So, thank you so much for joining me